Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arens, and I got Jeffrey Galloon joining me for this hour. We got Rudy in the title. Rudy will be joining me from 8 to 9, so don't worry about all that one. We will get the sighting of Rudy, but for now, I got Jeffrey joining me for this hour. And pretty good timing as well, as I know there's interesting things going on in the pro volleyball world. Also, the WNBA's somewhat in the same spot that the NBA was in last year with some really, really tight wins and losses records down the stretch here.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts in the WNBA standings right now. I mean, you have Minnesota, who is like really run away with that top spot at 24-5, but spots 2 through 10, it's razor thin. New York is 18-10, Atlanta's 18-11, Phoenix is 17-11, Indiana 17-12, Seattle 16-13, Vegas is 15-14, Golden State's 14-14. Washington is 13-15, and then LA is 12-15, and then there's a pretty steep drop off down to Dallas, Chicago, and Connecticut. None of those teams are above 8 wins. And what makes this even more interesting is you have 9 teams that are within 6 games of each other, 5 games of each other, 5.5 technically, and only 8 teams can make the playoffs. Minnesota's all but clinched a spot. But it's going to get really, really interesting here. And it kind of feels like everyone's beating up on everyone. Like, New
What's
York.
The end of the regular season, WNBA?
September 11th, I believe, is the final day. Let me confirm that. Yes, September 11th, Las Vegas at Los Angeles will be the final game of the regular season. So 44-game regular season. Most teams have played about 28-ish games. Right now, between every team has played between 27 and 29 games, so a little bit over halfway through, and it's definitely very tight right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and even if you go to the Western Conference, the longest winning streak is 2, and the longest winning streak, the Fever are on a 5-game winning streak, which is big for those guys down the stretch here, obviously, but otherwise it's 3-1. Biggest streak overall is the Chicago Sky. They've lost 8 straight. What's going on with those guys?
They're honestly, I think they're not a good team. I mean, they really don't have a ton of veteran presence.
Pretty young.
Yeah, it's a very young team. I mean, obviously like Angel Reese is, just in her 2nd year. And then Haley Van Lith, who's played in quite a few games so far, is just a rookie. But I believe, Quigg is really the only, or I'm sorry, not Quigg, Courtney Vandersloot is really the only very tenured player there. Actually, scratch that. Rebecca Allen's been in there for 9 years, but yeah, I mean, you got a lot of first and second year players in this league. And Vandersloot, again, while she's been in there for 14 years, she's battled a lot of injuries this year. And it's, it's weird because like they have a win over Minnesota this year. They almost did it twice. It's just they can't really put things all the way together. And I think just there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Just no identity is kind of what it sounds like. They're trying to find
I mean,
it.
and I believe their coach is also a first-year head coach.
Oh,
like
him.
the problems aren't as glaring in Chicago as they are in Dallas and Connecticut. Like
Okay,
Dallas,
let's talk about it. Give me like some of the biggest stories so far in this point. It's a little what is about mid-season WNBA. Give me the headlines that if people are just peeking their head into the WNBA window, what do we need to know?
So as far as Dallas and Connecticut go, the entire coaching staff and management staff of Dallas needs to be destroyed, frankly. I mean, it's almost hilarious. There are videos of you'll watch the huddle and Paige Beckers will look at the camera like she's Jim Halpert at The Office when she's getting coached. Like just this look of like, seriously, like that's what we're doing. And it's happened multiple times. And then you go through this whole thing of, Nalissa Smith and DeJohnny Carrington, who are married, spent so much of their career trying to get into the same place, finally ended up in Dallas together. And then Dallas was like, oh, we're going to trade away Nalissa Smith to Vegas. And then like 3 weeks later, DeJohnny Carrington was like, okay, well, like she didn't explicitly say this, but the subtext was there like, okay, this is really the only reason I came here. And so she gets traded to the Minnesota Lynx a couple days ago, and she was really their most veteran player. And they have Aneka Agumbawale there, who is, yes, a veteran presence, but she's been in the league 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I mean, some of the coaching decisions there have not been great.
GM decisions. What's the average tenure of like GM in the WNBA?
I don't even.
NBA, it's like not a lot. It's usually about 3. I want to say it's like 3.8. NFL is about 3.3.
Let me see. Average WNBA GM tenure.
So to me, it sounds like a horrible GM situation going on too.
I don't really know. I think it's saying average. I can't really find a strong average. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. And I know management there is murky.
Well, it just sounds like they don't know what direction. You bringing in those players just to trade them out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the plan there? I can't imagine that was the plan.
No, because I mean, Carrington's like, she's a good player. I mean, she was one of the starting 5 on that Connecticut team that was the number 3 team in the league last year, and went down there and really like was a really good. She almost felt like an on-court coach for some of those younger players. She like, I mean, the joke that I made, or the joke that I was making with a couple of my friends, was after Nalissa Smith and DeJohnny Carrington both got traded, was Paige Beckers lost both of her moms. Like, because the two of them were really helping to build her up. I mean, you see in the WNBA a lot players almost adopting rookies, and like they kind of co-adopted Paige Beckers, and now they're both out of there. And I mean, you have the number 1 draft pick openly like looking at the camera in confusion when you're drawing up plays. Like,
not a great look.
And the thing is too, like, I believe Lisa Leslie was on the short list for the coach to coach the Dallas Wings, and they passed up on her. And got Chris Cocklanes, I believe is how you pronounce it. I've heard a few different pronunciations, but yeah, Lisa Leslie was on the short list for that. Or I'm sorry, Cheryl Swoops, I believe. There were it was Lisa Leslie. Cheryl Swoops had opinions about the whole Lisa Leslie thing. So and they passed up on her. Lisa Leslie, which is, I understand Lisa Leslie doesn't have a ton of coaching experiences, but
I mean, hindsight being 2020, they made the wrong move. Yeah.
Like, it's Lisa Leslie. Like, I mean, that's like, I'm trying to think of a good proper equivalent. I mean, I don't even know. It's just that
Jason
going
Kidd?
on there. Huh?
Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Like, great player, now coaching. And then you get that respect immediately from the players because you were one of the best at that position. So you immediately break through the wall of, why should I listen to you? You know why, because you know who I am. Like, that part's done. I don't know. That's I don't know what they were thinking there.
Yeah, just frustrating in Dallas.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, and I can't come up with a reason why I would make those exact moves. Give me some more headlines.
The big one as of recent is just the absolute destruction that has happened in Connecticut. Because I want to see if I can pull up this graphic. So to put it in perspective, I'm really bad at typing and talking at the same time. I apologize. But the Connecticut Sun last year were the number 3 team in the league, and then, made it to the semifinals, and then lost their entire starting 5. And, that included, I believe, Alyssa Thomas. That included
due to trades, those guys required
people wanting out. I mean, trades, free agency, just nobody wanted to be there.
Okay,
which is
a lot of players requesting out.
The head coach of the Indiana Fever this year was Connecticut's coach last year, and then Marina Mabry. She went to Connecticut because she wanted to win a championship, and then, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. She went to Connecticut because she wanted to win a championship, and then all those players left, and now she's like, okay, well, I don't want to be here, and the Connecticut Sun aren't letting her out. And then there was this whole thing this past weekend of, oh my gosh, the Connecticut Sun are getting sold to minority owners of the Boston Celtics, and they're going to move to Boston. And then 24 hours later, which, by the way, for an announcement, something this simple took way too long. Like a day later, the owners of the Sun were like, LOL, never mind. We're not doing anything. And it's like,
were they serious about it?
About which one?
Going to Boston.
Yeah, there were serious talks. Okay. Like, especially, like, I'm
trying to figure out what fell through, because it seems like a pretty good deal for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
tied to the biggest, maybe not the biggest, second biggest. Knicks might be number 1, but the Celtics, you can attach yourself to that wagon. Like, that's a money train.
Well, and especially because, one, Boston just as a whole is an incredible sports city. And especially for women's sports, Boston, like, I don't understand why Boston doesn't have a WNBA team, because
it seems like a perfect fit.
Yeah, because one, a lot of WNBA teams have NBA like ties, which some people think is positive, some think is negative. I think it's a bit of both. And so you get that support from the Celtics. And additionally, for women's sports, you have a PWHL team in Boston. You have, Boston FC, and Aaliyah Boston just bought into that team. So the women's sports scene in Boston is insane. And I don't understand. Like, that's an area I'm like, I don't get why you don't have a team there. And when it was announced for 5 minutes that Connecticut was going to move there, I'm like, this seems like a great idea, because, outside of like UConn, which is a whole different scene because collegiate, there's not really a basketball presence in Connecticut.
No, it really isn't.
And, because last year, the starting 5 for Connecticut was DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Marina Mabry, Brianna Jones, and Jajana Carrington, all gone except Mabry, who is like, please let me out. And they're sitting at 5-22. Like, it's bad there. So those are the big negative headlines.
Okay.
Around the W this year.
That's why I'm trying to wrap my head around why that fell through. There's probably 100 reasons, but because it's like, you think of Boston's like makes sense. Then it's like, let's try Toronto, let's try Cleveland, let's try Detroit. I'm like, are you guys just picking the worst cities to try this in? It's just like trying to not throw a ton of shade, but it's like, you got to figure out a market that's going to embrace you. That's like, Midwest markets seem like a great spot for women's sports. Toronto, not so much. Boston makes sense because you just laid out everything why that's a place that makes sense. Some of the best, we don't have to call them the best fans, most dedicated fans when it comes to sports are up there in that Boston area for sure. So yeah, and when you go to pick some of those other cities, I'm like, I don't know what crowd you're trying to grab.
Well, that's my thing. It's like, even if your argument is, okay, because I believe the 3 new expansion, like the 3 newest expansion teams all have deep NBA ties. And if that's your argument, okay, fine. Like, go to Denver, go to Nashville, go to Oklahoma City. Like, and it's, for me,
OKC would be, I think, a home run place for a WNBA team.
OKC would be perfect.
Yes. That small market, look at what the Thunder pack into their place. It's packed. They love it.
And the thing is too, like, yeah, there's Dallas, but there's not many I'm trying to figure out how to word this. There's not many teams or WNBA markets in the southeastern southeastern to south Midwest quadrant of the U.S. It's literally, it's Dallas, it's Atlanta, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, why is there not a team in Denver? Why is there not an Orlando team? Why is there not a Nashville team? Like if your argument, or I'm sorry, not Nashville, Memphis. If your argument is tie them in with the NBA, why are you clumping 9 teams in the northeast of this country where there's already fans? Like, and I know
I think that too becomes just like a bad planning, because I think at one point in time it's cheaper. That's why travel's cheaper. I'm like, that's maybe a good reason at the time, but you got to figure out a way to get over that hurdle eventually and make the league make sense, because yes, it's cheaper, but in the long run you're probably getting less revenue because you're not spreading out your teams and your fan base.
And my thing too is, if your argument is travel's cheaper, then why are you putting a team in Toronto? Because now you have to deal with all the international aspects of all of this.
Yeah.
Which I don't know the full fiscal impacts of that.
It's not. It's complicated. It's not like
Exactly.
Just an easy oh, you're in the WNBA, you're in the NBA, just sign this paper.
Yeah.
Like you got to make sure. I mean, there's extra paperwork and money that goes into all of that.
And especially when you consider the amount of players that are playing in the WNBA that are from other countries. You have Julie Van Loo and Julia Alamond that are both from Belgium. You have Camila Cardoso that's from Brazil. You have I'm blanking on her name, and frankly I'd probably butcher it, but the player for the Storm that's from France. It's hard enough to get, I mean, we saw it with Nika Mule. It's hard enough to get international work visas just for the United States. Now you throw in Canada in there, you're dealing with 2 countries. The time, the cost,
that's a good point. You got, I'm thinking of like just US players. It's like, okay, Brazil, get your US visa, get your Canadian visa as well.
Exactly, because
and we're trying to save money, by the way.
Yeah, and with the format of this league, you're gonna go. I mean, every single player is gonna cross international borders probably at least twice during the season, and it's just like,
are they assuming just a lot of those people got that stuff checked out? Because I know for the summer, a lot of those WNBA players, they'll go join another league and make money in the meantime until the WNBA is back. I don't know why you would ever pick Toronto. And again, like Toronto's a good city. It has the NBA ties already, but there's a lot of other NBA ties that go for it before Toronto.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't understand why they'd make that assumption either, because again, we saw it with Nika Mule last year. She didn't play the entire season. I mean, part of it was injury, but she didn't, because her visa was so messed up, because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe when she played at UConn, it was a school visa. It was a university visa, but obviously that's not going to translate when you're not in school anymore. And that was just a nightmare to deal with. And it's just, I mean,
making things harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Than what they need to be.
Exactly. So it's just, there are a few teams in the league right now that just don't have an identity. And then, I mean, you saw too, like the amount of players getting cut and stuff. Like that was the big deal with the Golden State Valkyries. Julie Van Loo's plane landed in San Francisco after winning the Belgian Cup. And the Valks were like, oh, LOL, you're off the team, which
could have told me before I got on the plane.
Right? Like and by the way, so Golden State Valkyries are now officially my least favorite team, partially because of that. And because just the grit that Van Loo is with the Sparks now. The game after she got cut, LA played in Minnesota. She bought her own ticket to Minnesota and sat outside the Target Center for 3 hours waiting for the team, not even sure if she was going to play. And then has really lit a spark for this team as they've elevated themselves from the basement. So I'm not a Valkyries fan at all. And because it's just like
that's shady.
It is shady.
And that falls in the lines of like what they did to Budenholzer. And this is even worse. It's like, hey, thanks for the playoffs. We're going to panic fire you after you lost to the Miami Heat. Looks bad at the time. Miami Heat make it all the way to the NBA Finals. And we're also going to do it like right after the death of a family member.
Yeah.
Sorry about it. Like, just like, there's certain times where it's like, I get it's a business, but like, come on. You got it. It's people you're working with, not just numbers.
And especially, and I'm going to say, especially in the WNBA, where like,
we're not making it nearly as much either. So you got to make sure those guys are taken care of. Like they're not making millions of dollars to where if they're wasting money to go fly across the damn world and then you land there and like you're cut, I'm sure she had some reimbursement and everything. She better have, but I'm furious. I'm pissed.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm that kind of player and I lose my job, it's, obviously it still sucks in any other professional league to be cut like that. But it's more of like, dang, this sucks emotionally. Like, I'm bummed that I'm not with my team. Like, this hurts. But I think in the WNBA, in any league where you're not playing as much money, it's like, okay, like, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, how am I going to live? Like, I'm out of a job.
Like some of those salaries, like say you're making, $90K. If you're making $90K at any job and your boss is like, hey, we're going to send you out over to Brazil, and then you land in Brazil, and then your company's like, we cut you. Or you're fired, by the way. Sorry about it. Like, that's a major deal to my income. And now I'm in Brazil and I got to use my money to get back to where I need to go. Like, just stuff like that blows my mind, where you're not dealing with millionaires. Like, you got to have some structure in place. NBA, NFL, it's a little bit different because it's not great, but people, if you drop somebody unexpectedly, they're okay.
Yeah.
Unless they're horrible with investments, they have enough money, especially with whatever you cut their contract with. Like, there's probably lots of millions guaranteed if they decide to cut you. WNBA, like, we're just not talking that much money.
No, we're simply not. And
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. I was angry to watch that whole thing go down.
I'll join you. I will not be a Valkyries fan either.
Heck yeah,
that upsets me just hearing.
Let's go.
But that being said, on the other side of this, what I'd like to do, Jeffrey, let's talk about the positives this year.
Absolutely.
In the WNBA, and then we can sneak in some volleyball talk as well, pro volleyball 100%. Talk. At that. Don't go anywhere. Jeffrey Calhoun, Arens Rugy Gres back here at 1040 O Street, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you guys in a bit.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, Apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got Jeffrey Calhoun joining me to my left. You guys can join in 402-464-5685 while we got the Royals getting thrashed on the airwaves right now.
What's the score?
Top of the fourth inning, Boston Red Sox already up 6-0 at the top of the fourth. So through just 3 innings, they're down 6. Yeah, Red Sox got 5 in that opening inning right off the gate there. So not a great start for your Kansas City Royals. Again, their record 56-56. They finally just climbed back to 500. This would be a tough loss, putting them back below 500. And again, be an impressive win if they manage to pull it off, because the Boston Red Sox, their overall record 62-51. So there's your update on the Royals, and I will continue to update that until they are off the airwaves and I am back on. And again, if you guys want to listen, if you're hearing it right now, that means you found the Ticket app or any of these streams. You can tell your buddies where to find it as well. All right, Jeffrey, we talked a lot about the negatives of the WNBA.
Happens.
Give me some positive stories.
I think the biggest thing that has been really cool to see this year is the amount of people in the league that are succeeding with new teams. There was a lot of shakeup in the offseason. You saw Sophie Cunningham go to Indiana. You saw Brittany Griner go down to Atlanta. You saw Kelsey Plum go to LA. You saw a lot of new faces in Phoenix. And like everyone seems to be doing very well. I'm not seeing, outside of the whole Mabry situation, I'm not seeing a ton of players regret where they're going. Like I'm seeing them carry on a lot of their success. And I think that's really, really cool. And I think it's a lot of fun. Who's been the player that nobody was talking about before the season and everyone's talking about now? As in like players that moved, or just everybody in the off season? If there's a player, most improved player type of deal is basically what I'm asking. I'm not sure if this counts because she's a rookie. I think it's fair. I mean, it's just people that we weren't talking about that pulled up to the WNBA this season and is the story. I think the Mystics rookie class is really, really the big one. Because they drafted Georgia Amore, Kiki Iriafin, I always mess up that name, and then Sonia Citron. And where's Citron from? Citron was Notre Dame, if I'm remembering right. I want to fact check myself. I was thinking Rutgers. I'm definitely off. I was like, it's Notre Dame.
Just thought her name.
Yeah, she was Notre
familiar.
Dame. Okay, I wanted to make sure. And then Iriafen was USC, which is really, it's very funny seeing two rivals like ball out together on the same team. But Iriafen, besides Beckers, is like rookie of the year. And the thing is, like, those two weren't even the top pick for the Mystics. Georgia Amore was the top pick, and she sadly went out with an ACL tear during practice. But those two, like, they've developed very, very quickly. And not only did they both make Iriafen and Citron, not only did they make it onto the All-Star team, they were the only players from the Mystics that made it onto the All-Star team. So not only, you know, are they some of the best rookies, they're some of the best players on their team. And that, you know, the Mystics have been in on that fringe playoff spot all year. They're sitting at 9th right now, but, you know, they have wins over Minnesota. I believe they beat New York as well. Like, they've been really solid. That's been one of the coolest headlines to see. As for like most improved or like almost comeback player, Sophie Cunningham, honestly, like, she's always been solid, but she has been like, she's gone to a new height this year.
With a very aggressive height.
This is fair. This is fair. Yeah, she's definitely.
I got a crack out of it though. I mean, I'm pretty fair with players. Like, if that's who you are, like, unapologetically, I'll accept it. It's when you lie, you get much more upset about the people who are two-faced. It's like Kyrie Irving as well. You know, I think a lot of people had beef with Kyrie. I know what I'm getting with Kyrie. My jaw shouldn't hit the floor when he does Kyrie Irving things, or James Harden when I see Harden at the club. My jaw shouldn't hit the floor. It's like, I knew the player you were. Not to say that Sophie Cunningham's a bad person, but it's like you hear her talk off the court and then you see her play on the court and you're like, same person.
And that's the thing, is like, there are people that have their opinions on her.
And I'm not even trying to get into all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, but she doesn't hide it. Like, you go on her Twitter, like, she's a very aggressive character, for better or for worse. You check her Twitter, you check her Instagram, you check what she does, like, literally on the court when she's not playing. Like,
fair to say she's like a Draymond Green, not in terms of like play style, but like, love them if they're on your team. If they are not on your team, you're like, get off of me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fair.
Like an enforcer for you.
Yeah,
but your enforcer.
And I think that is like, I think what is almost, how do I word this? What is almost comical about her, and I'm trying to figure out how to word this. There are some players for the WNBA that have a natural, very domineering, aggressive presence to them. You know, Brittany Griner is the first person that comes to mind. Very tall, very large build, covered in tattoos, like. But Sophie Cunningham, you know, she's just, you know, she's this blonde hair, blue-eyed girl that played for the University of Missouri. And I feel like you kind of, you know, your first thought, and like, at first she seems very composed, but then you spend like 10 minutes with her, she gets on the court, or she goes on her Twitter, and it's like, oh,
yeah, you're thinking
she's a lot.
Midwest nice.
Yeah, like,
and it's like, oh, it doesn't quite fit the bill.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun.
She's definitely a character.
That's a good one. I'll tell you what, she's making the WNBA a lot of money with all her. I mean, it's a lot of media attention. She's been calling in there, that whole Fever team. And I'll always go back to, like, all media, it's, even if it's not great media, the WNBA is still in a great spot.
Yeah.
To take advantage of the eyes that are on them. They've been begging for the eyes forever. Now you have the eyes. It's, what are you going to do to market yourself? Give me one more positive story, not player. It can be coach. I guess it can be coaches if you want to throw them in there. But just a league-wise, something that gives you hope that the WNBA is heading in the right direction. And if you don't have one, why?
I think just the comeback that, or I want to say the revenge tour that the Minnesota Lynx have had has been really, really cool. You know, this team lost in one of the best WNBA finals in the league's history, 3-2, had a crazy buzzer beater by Sabrina in, I think, the third game. And the Minnesota Lynx have like completely separated themselves as the best team in the league. You know, I was looking into it because, so one, I guess, negative headline that I'm going to spin to positive is Nafisa Collier got injured. I believe it was last night, maybe 2 nights ago. She's going to be out 2 weeks. If the Minnesota Lynx were just like, yeah, we're not going to play any basketball games until she's back, so they just forfeited the next 4 games, they would still be first in the league. Like, they could just not play. And, you know, the energy that Natisha Heidemann and Courtney Williams have brought to the All-Star game, to this team, has been really, really cool. like they are just, I think, one of the most marketable, lovable teams in this league. Like I can't think of a team in a long time that has been this far ahead of everybody in the league and has this little hate. Like I feel like
that's a good question. Most marketable and least marketable teams in the WNBA right now. Give me the most and give me the least.
Most, no question, is the Indiana Fever.
Yeah.
Like
We don't have to lie about it.
No, I mean, with Cunningham and with Lexi Hull and with Caitlin Clark, and then like them capitalizing off the Stranger Things collaboration, like easily the Indiana Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Behind them, I would say the Las Vegas Aces. Just the Vegas market is huge. Asia Wilson is, despite being on a mediocre team, one of, if not the best players in the league.
They did a really good job in Vegas, because Vegas is another one of those cities where it's like really easy to lose yourself in that market.
Yeah.
There's a million things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with all those California teams. So I like that Aces that too.
And even though they lost Kate Martin and Kelsey Plum, like they still are marketing very, very well. And I like that. Least marketable, it's got to be Connecticut.
Yeah,
it's got to be
Connecticut. It
Connecticut.
was gonna be.
I mean, the ownership is weird. The whole weird thing with Boston, just this whole nightmare with players and stuff. Like it's got to be Connecticut. Like they are the least marketable team.
What a boring city to be a pro team in.
I would just want to see.
Maybe Connecticut's not that boring. I've never been. It just seems like a place that I feel like, oh, it's okay.
So far, I just want to see where's the Connecticut Sun are fourth to last so far in average attendance.
Okay. So it's
just
fitting
above
the bill well. It's just not an interesting team to go and watch.
And the thing is, the three teams that are above, it's Dallas, Washington, and Atlanta. And those three, like I can see, because in those three cities, there's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, that makes sense. But like Connecticut, like there's not a ton of other pro sports teams.
I don't know what you're competing with.
No, that's the thing, is there's not much competition. But yeah, Indiana is the second highest attendance. Golden State is actually the highest right now, which I can understand. I mean,
is it a bigger venue?
I think that's part of it, and also just the hype of an expansion team. Like I think a lot of people want to get in like at the ground floor.
Supernova's fed off that too.
Yeah, Supernova's fed off of that, and I think like it's in San Francisco. I mean, I think the Golden State fan base is very similar to the Kings fan base. It's a little bit of a smaller market, but people just love them.
Yeah,
I mean, people,
they get behind them. The Bay Area 100% does that, even though it was the Oakland area for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then obviously got moved over. But super loyal fan bases
very much
over there.
Very, very much so.
We'll finish this on this segment because I like that question. Now do NFL.
What do you mean for
most marketable, least marketable?
Least marketable. I feel like it's the Carolina Panthers.
I was gonna say Panthers were one. I was also like thinking Jaguars.
Jaguars, maybe. Honestly, Jaguars were on my mind.
Such a tough area, and you're freaking playing in Europe all the time. It's like you're not even playing in the U.S. so many games.
I think, and as much as I hate to agree with this man, I think Colin Cowherd put it best a while ago. Is the Carolina Panthers are the most, and Bryce Young has brought some life back in, but the Carolina Panthers are the most boring team in the NFL.
Yeah, they were. Cam Newton did it, and that was it.
Yeah, and I feel like there are teams that are bad, but they're fun to watch. Like
the Browns.
I think the Browns are there. Honestly, the first team that kind of comes to mind is the Raiders. Like they're never that good, but they're kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like every time it's Raiders Chiefs, you don't care if the Raiders haven't won a game yet. You want to watch that game because there's usually some chaos at least.
I think I think Broncos. I think Broncos were in that realm for a while, but like Carolina, like they're bad and they're boring, which is the worst combination. Like you know what? I think perfect example of bad but fun is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, when was the last time they made the playoffs? 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time they were really good was 2015.
Would have been Matty Ice.
But yeah, but like, I mean, watching Kirk Cochains ball out against the Eagles for no reason last year was a ton of fun. That Washington game they lost was incredible football.
Mm-hmm.
And they just they're bad, but they're fun. And Carolina is, I think they're bad and they're boring. They have one good game every year, but
That's a good spot for like I see. That's what I would put the Jaguars though. They're bad and they're boring. Like unless Trevor Lawrence does something,
Yeah,
it just hasn't though. So like lately, I've just been tuning out of Jaguars. Like of course I'm gonna watch it if it's on the bill, but if I got the Jaguars in any other game, I'm probably gonna pick the other game every time until they give me a reason to watch. The Browns are interesting. They're so mean to that fan base. I don't know what they did to deserve a fan base that's willing to show up as much as they do.
Yeah.
Because it's just disaster decision after even when they got rid of Baker Mayfield, there was most of the Browns fans I knew were like, what are we doing? I hate my ownership. Like we love this guy. He finally did something for us and got us to a playoff game. And, we'll try to be excited about Deshaun Watson. And then we're not going to get into those details.
Yeah.
But obviously we know how that turned out. Disaster, horrible move. And you traded what was one of the best marketable human beings and into one of the least marketable human beings you could possibly have. And so the Cleveland Browns, like I can't put them in that camp because that fan base is so loyal and Cleveland just has some grit to it. I'm always like, do you like their uniforms?
I think they're overhated. Like
yeah,
I don't love them.
They grow on me.
But like it's hard to get a color scheme like that to work. And it's just, they're simple. They're pretty classic. Like I don't mind them.
I don't mind them at all. Every now and then they did some color rush. They got to be careful with the color rush because those look horrible sometimes. But it's me. I actually don't mind the Browns. Like it really grew on me the older I get, especially when you see a lot of like newer logos and the stuff people try. It's like the old school sometimes. Simplicity looks nice. We'll do one more here since we did WNBA, NBA.
For most marketable and least marketable,
Lakers.
Yeah, for most marketable, yeah.
I mean, so.
That's easy. Least marketable, honestly, Memphis is the first one that comes to mind.
I was gonna say Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte's up there too. I just, Charlotte
Memphis is good.
I mean, they have. Yeah, I think I think Memphis is a little better just because there's not a lot going on professionally.
And they've also, it's hard to judge right now because like you get, even when they had Zach Randolph though, people were showing up in pretty good numbers.
Yeah, and now
decent fan base.
Yeah, now I mean you're getting some good young players. I mean, however you feel about him, you can't argue that Ja Morant is bringing in headlines.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I mean, then you have Zach Edey who brought in a lot of college fans. But yeah, Charlotte, I mean, there's more pro teams to compete with the Panthers and with the Hurricanes. And
Charlotte just stinks.
Charlotte, I mean, they just
don't.
We talk
about. I'm sorry, Charlotte doesn't stink. The teams there aren't doing great, at least in the major sports.
Well, I think the thing with the Carolinas too is like the college sports scene in North and South Carolina is
electric,
magnificent. I mean, women's basketball, you have South Carolina. Men's basketball, take your pick. College football, NC State's a consistent 9-10 win team. Appalachian State's one of the most fun group of 5 teams.
We'll see what North Carolina does now. With
Bill
Belichick.
You have Bill Belichick in there. And like, if you don't like what's going on in North Carolina or South Carolina, okay, make the 5-hour drive to Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's eating pretty good with pro sports and with college sports. Like, it's just, North Carolina and South Carolina professional sports. Like, I mean, if they disappeared tomorrow, would anyone care?
The pro teams need a merger. The Carolinas merger for the pro teams and just get everybody in there. I mean, I don't know what it is with Charlotte, but that place, in particular with football and basketball, have just been horrendous. Yeah. And, that's why they're tough to market is like, what are you guys? You guys just don't win ever.
Yeah.
Can't think of any good history in there. We only got about 5 minutes left. We'll skip over the break. Before we dive into volleyball, is there any other sports you want to do that for?
Yeah, I mean, we did. What about baseball? How are you feeling about baseball?
Baseball, we can go. Would it be the Marlins?
For least marketable?
Yeah, least marketable.
Yeah, which is so weird because, like, they're just a weird team, but yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's got to be Yankees.
I was going to say Dodgers.
Yeah, okay. Dodgers, yeah.
Like,
it fits too.
Yankees are definitely up there. I think it depends on who you ask.
During the Jeter days, everyone would say Yankee, but now what the Dodgers have is unreal. So that's
I think
today it is the Dodgers for sure.
Like Yankees are definitely still up there, and if you ask, I'd say anyone over 40, they definitely say Yankees. But with younger fans, Dodgers. I mean, like I feel like the Dodgers are so the Dodgers and the Lakers are so similar in the way that they are so marketable that you forget that there's another team in LA.
Like, yeah, you really do.
I mean, Yeah, I definitely would say the Dodgers.
Okay. I'm going to steal that. I like that exercise. All right. Let's talk about some volleyball here. I know we had some crazy news, but we kind of just ran through the break there as we did that. But Jeffrey, break it down. What's going on in the pro volleyball world, as I know we have some seismic shifts possibly happening?
So basically, it got announced today that, and I don't think an official announcement has been made, but
possibly
pretty much gotten leaked, that the Pro Volleyball Federation and Major League Volleyball are merging, which at this exact moment in time is the smartest decision, in my opinion. If I was doing this before, I would just say, hey, what if Major League Volleyball never existed? Because to put it very plainly, I think Major League Volleyball is like the worst thing to happen to volleyball in decades, if not ever. The disdain that I have for Major League Volleyball cannot be understated. Honestly.
Why is that, though?
Because
for everyone who doesn't know who they are.
So, first of all, that's the thing, is nobody knows who Major League Volleyball is. If you go on their Instagram, they have 5,000 followers, which for a pro team or for a pro league is not that good.
Yeah.
And their whole logic was, we want to have one main volleyball league. Well, there were already two. And I've said this before, League One kind of feels like its own thing. I was anti League One for a little bit, but the more I learned, the more I'm okay with it.
I like what they're doing. I love volleyball. I think what they're figuring out is smart.
Yeah.
Like niche, nail it locally. Yeah. And then we'll see what we do there.
100%. And I will be the first to admit that I was wrong about League One, because I love that they are much more international style volleyball.
Yeah, they are.
The way I say it is, if you want to go play for the Olympics, but you don't want to travel across the world to prepare for it, go to League One. That's where you have your medalist. If you want to play in a more traditional style professional league with a draft, with mascots, with fan service, with team, crazy team colors and stuff, you go to the PVF. And so they threaten each other so little, it wasn't a problem for me. But then Major League Volleyball comes out and they're like, oh, we want to be this one league. Also, we're taking the Supernovas, which I don't know why the Supernovas thought that was a good idea. And, wow, I think that PVF could have survived under a league without Omaha. Omaha is the best fan base in that league. Full stop.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that off air way before. Yeah. Like, year one of the Pro Volleyball Federation, Supernovas by far and away best fan base in terms of just attendance.
And so I think that merging these leagues is the best move, because it's like, okay, listen, we're kind of punching each other in the throat right now. We're causing each other damage. Let's reel this thing back in. You get the endorsement and the management from both sides. More so, I'm going to say the management of the PVF. You get the Novas back in. I think it kind of helps to simmer things down, calm down the boiling, and you get that one league. So it looks like there's going to be 10 to 12 teams. Details are still coming out, but I think right now it's the best thing possible. Major League Volleyball it never took off. They announced Omaha, but then they announced the states that teams were going to be in. They never even announced cities, and then nothing.
Yeah, it went like radio silence.
Yeah, that's
after a while, you were like, okay, cool. 3 leagues, but maybe just 2 leagues. What the hell is going on? Like, I don't think the fan base even knew to a point anymore. And then I think they're just like, it got to such an awkward point for those guys. As opposed to like, do we even market this? Because I don't even know if this is going to happen anymore. And then, as you pointed out, 5,000 followers for a major league, and you're the hub for social media on Instagram. Like, just not a great look. And this is the problem that happens with like a lot of pro sports early on when they try to make that new league. You had the NBA and then you had ABA. NBA had to buy them out eventually.
Yeah.
It's like these guys are trying to dive into our stock, but the difference about the ABA is they had some unique changes that made them separate. And they actually changed the game so much. The NBA is like, we got to add a 3-point line. This is crazy what these guys are doing. And none of those other leagues were doing anything different. They were just a different league with the same rules. Maybe little differences, but the ABA and the NBA were drastically different. You could tell exactly which one you were watching. And then it just became so popular that the NBA eventually folded, but bought them in and brought all the teams, but they're at least different products.
Yeah.
Between Major League Volleyball, the Pro Volleyball Federation, were you going to see anything that was even different other than maybe bigger names here and lesser names in this league? But we're all kind of playing the same sport here.
I mean, no, honestly.
So why separate?
Exactly.
This is my whole thing.
And that's the thing is League One is so different. Like it's so different that, it's not that big of a deal. Like, and I mean, you have international coaches, it wasn't going to be a threat. And yeah, I'm happy, all things considered, that they're merging, because I was really scared that both leagues were just going to die out and we were going to be left with just League One.
It was a possibility. I mean, again, it's not because nobody cares, but it's like, it's a baby at that point. It's brand spanking new. The investors are probably still a little bit shaky. And if you start messing around with it, or if you start having decisions that seem unsure or short-sighted, investors talk tails pretty quick and they stop trusting you. And then all of a sudden, your 5-year plan looks like we got to figure this out in 2 years. Otherwise, everyone's gone and all the investors are backing out.
100%.
And I'm happy. I'm hoping that this is kind of the end of that turmoil. What are your thoughts? Do you think we can get to a place now where there is a pro volleyball league? And then we talked about, I think Love Volleyball is really smart in what they're doing, keeping their own niche. Like they don't need to worry whatever the hell those guys are doing. So we talked about it. Similar rules, but different in terms of talent and what they're trying to actually do with the league. So I get the rules are the same, but what they're trying to do is not drastically different, but different enough to where they're not going to interfere. Give me what your thoughts are. Like, will this settle down? Will we get to a true pro league?
I really hope so. I mean, I think League One is so far and ahead of everyone because they have the support of the players. Like, I think that's the big thing is there were a lot of players who left PVF to go into League One, Tori Dixon, Asia O'Neal, like, because I think the business model was, if you track Jordan Larson's career, arguably the best volleyball player of all time had to travel across the world. And now she gets to be back in Nebraska. And you have players that they want to train for the Olympics. They want to be the best they can, but they want to have a stable life. They don't want to have to travel across the world. They don't want to have to live in Russia when they're from Omaha, Nebraska. That's why you see, League One Austin is basically 2021 University of Texas.
Yeah.
You have the support of these players. And so I think that's the most stable. I think PVF and Major League Volleyball, whatever they end up, I think it's going to simmer down. And I think what they're doing is smart because volleyball right now, I think that is the next sport that is going to boom. I think in about 2-3 years, and we're starting to see early echoes of it now. I think in about 2-3 years, the boom that we saw with women's basketball in 2023, we're going to see that with volleyball here in a couple years. And I think that they need to stabilize or they're going to miss it.
It feels like it, right? Because what happened in the college game before the WNBA blew up, the college game popped off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, let's go follow these stars from college to the pros.
Exactly.
Volleyball's got an opportunity to do that. And to your point, they couldn't ever do that because they were going to Russia. They were going to Brazil. They were going to, where do I need to go to prepare for an Olympics? Because there's diddly squat I can do out here in my own country, in my own state. Even if I live in a big city, I'm still not going to get the competition that I need. So, with that being said, as we wrap things up here, I'm pretty hopeful that they can get this thing figured out and it simmers down. But as we kind of mentioned the entire time, it's brand new, a lot of risk involved. I think the best bet between the two leagues, not counting League One volleyball, is we work together, figure it out, because you want to make sure you can keep those athletes in your own country. Because again, if Larson's out there in Nebraska, you know how many fans, especially back then when more and more people were growing up watching, how many people would show up even today just to go and see her because she's around the area. Couldn't do that before because, like you said, she's all the way across the country. So hopefully this is a turmoil that's a sign of good things to come. But we will get to a settlement. But that's going to do it for us. Appreciate Jeffrey sticking around. Up next, I got Rudy joining me. Don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Load it with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Harrison Arens back on the ones and twos. As always, got another new face joining me. Still got Jeffrey Calhoun joining me for another hour, but we also got Rudy joining me as well. So if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Human text line. As always, you can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Allo Channel 961 if you got Allo Cable. And again, I encourage everybody to download the Ticket app. Makes things easy for you anytime you want to plug in and listen to 93.7 The Ticket. Quick score update. Royals continuing to really struggle here. Bottom of the sixth inning, 7-1 versus the Boston Red Sox. Your Royals, 556 and 56, and the Boston Red Sox sitting there at 62 and 51. So would be a great win for the Royals, but they need a lot to come back from this one. Since we're bringing them in here, Rudy, how's it going on a Monday?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I have a pretty long week scheduled ahead, but I'm excited, so I'm looking forward to it. I never hate coming to work on a Monday here at the Ticket, so it's always good to be here.
Amen.
Well said. What do you got coming up here, Rudy?
So me and my buddy, we've had this planned trip for a couple months now. We're going to Chicago, and we're going to Cubs games. Never been to a Cubs game. He's a huge Cubs fan. I'm a partial Reds fan, so it just lined up perfectly. We'll be there for a couple days. Might golf, I'm sure. We're getting into that now. We still suck, but it's always fun to play at new courses. So we'll be out there just for 2 days, and then we're coming back on the 3rd. So not too long, but it should be real fun.
You can check out a real stadium too if you want to go by Soldier Field anytime.
Now I'm good. I'm gonna avoid that on purpose.
It's pretty
real
ugly.
stadium.
I'm not even gonna defend it. It's a pretty ugly stadium. They tried the renovations on it, did not go out as I think they wanted it to. It's quite the eyesore, and that's why they're in constant debates to build a new stadium. We'll see what happens with that, if ever. Let's talk some college football though, and get off the NFL. Preseason coaches poll came out. Top 25 teams. We'll go through the list. And I think what would be the most interesting way to do this? I think the most interesting way to do this, we'll go bottom to top, top to bottom.
I'm cool with going bottom to top.
Yeah,
because we're gonna talk about some names we probably didn't expect.
25. Boise State sneaks in there, which is a little bit surprising. Obviously, you lose Genty. That's the main thing everyone's going to talk about, and it's a big deal because I felt like that was their entire offense was Genty. So, no for me. Maybe I'm just wrong on that, and it's just going off of. I mean, it's preseason. You can't ever be truly wrong. Boise State at 25. Your thoughts?
I don't hate it. I mean, they were far and away the best group of 5 team last year. And, it's not terrible. I mean, again, this was the college football playoff team. They beat some good teams. They took Oregon down to the wire. But again, like you lose one of the best running backs, frankly, in college football history, if I'm going to be very frank. Their schedule isn't terrible, but they do have one glaring matchup having to go into South Bend to play Notre Dame. So, I mean, I don't hate it at 25, but it almost to some extent, I mean, especially when you look at the rest of the top 25, almost feels like we had to put a top 25 or we had to put a group of 5 team in here. Let's just pick one. And they put Boise State there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think kind of we had to do it thing is probably going to be their playoff team last year. Like, out of respect in a way, obviously, I'm sure that's not exactly what they went into it with that ranking, but I think they did make the playoffs. They had a good year last year, but I think the elephant in the room is that they don't have their key player, and that is a huge hole to fill. And so I get kind of why they're here. I doubt they're there for long. Obviously, if I'm wrong, we'll come back to this clip, I'm sure. But as of right now, I'm sure they'll drop out after week 1 if that's where they'll stand. But I'm not big on them there either.
Yeah, it's first tough loss. Like they were out. I don't think they'll sneak back in.
That's a hard one
there.
to get back in. Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe they find another Genty.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I will say they have to go like to South Florida night game to open up the season. That's a tough one. That's a sneaky game that because South Florida hasn't been terrible the last couple years. Like this is a team that took Syracuse to the woodshed in their bowl game. Like They've been above 500 the last couple of years. Like that's a game.
It's like us going to play Cincinnati.
I would even say more so. I mean, first of all, you got to go from Boise, Idaho to Tampa, Florida. Like that ain't a short trip. Yeah. And
I'd be like Cincinnati. Well, I guess, yeah. Distance between it. I get what you're saying.
I mean, and it's prime time. Like it's the first real day of college football. It's nationally like this game's on ESPN. Like this, I'm looking at this game. I'm like, I'm circling this. I'm like, yeah, this could be a big upset. Like that is the type of game where someone immediately gets knocked from the top 25. Like that's a game that I'm like, that may cause issues.
I like that. That'll make Boise State at least interesting early in the year too. You can circle that game. Moving on, because we got 25 of them. 24, Texas Tech. They won 8 games last year. They spend a lot of money every year. It feels honestly about right. This is kind of where Texas falls for me. What feels like every year. On a good year, they're maybe flirting in like just inside that top 10. On their average years, they're about 18 to 25. Texas Tech at 24. McGuire at head coach. That feels about right to me. I don't got too many arguments there.
Yeah, especially in that Big 12. I mean, anybody can win it. We've seen that. So, I mean, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I think the one thing that kind of concerns me, though, is it feels like every year there's one team that was good at the end of the season, has a lot of talent, and is everybody's dark horse, and then they fall apart. In 2021, it was North Carolina. Frankly, in 2019, it was Nebraska. And I think I am kind of drinking the Kool-Aid of Texas Tech, but I'm noticing the pattern, and I do wonder if the same thing's going to happen to the Red Raiders.
I probably just like knowing the Red Raiders pass. Like I would not be shocked by it. Moving on, 23, the team that beat the living breaks out of Colorado to end the year. BYU. BYU was pretty good last year. Again, we're still talking Big 12. So I think they were 7-2 in conference play. They won 11 games overall, counting that bowl win.
Yeah.
The Big 12 teams are tough because the records are going to say they are where they're supposed to be. They're not a top 10 because they're in the Big 12. They're not even a top 15 because they're in the Big 12. Where are you guys at on BYU? Because last year they did end on a really impressive note, though, and they do have a ton of returning starters coming back.
Yeah, they definitely do. I think the biggest, at least one of the more recent storylines, is how they just lost their quarterback for that whole suspension.
That's right.
I think obviously because that happened, I want to say obviously I think less than a month ago for now, and so season starts in about a month. I think that's a huge, maybe not. I don't think they're going to be bad by any means, but I think it's going to be something they have to adjust to, and having to do it in such a short amount of time is probably going to tinker with some things they have going on over there. But I think they have a really good defensive core that they've built there. So I mean, I don't think that's going to be a huge drastic hit, but anytime you got to move from a quarterback who's that consistent and that productive, I think you're going to take some steps back anyways.
Yeah, and honestly, like their schedule's not bad. I mean, their non-conference schedule, it's Portland State, it's Stanford, and it's at East Carolina. Like it could definitely be a lot worse. They dodge both the teams they lost to last year. They dodge Arizona State and they dodge Kansas, which is huge for them. They also dodge Baylor, who I believe is the preseason favorite. Like, I think that goes into a lot of this is while there is some turmoil, that schedule is really pretty nice. Like, and they get a bye week between Iowa State and Texas Tech. Like, it's a good schedule for them. So I like them there. Yeah, I'm really cool with that.
Oh, it's tough. Kick them out. I'm kicking them out.
You're kicking them out?
Yeah, for how heavy oriented they are of a QB offense, especially in the Big 12, for how much air raid they lost Retzloff that I totally forgot about. You're right, not too long ago. That's, I mean, we talk about this all the time, especially if you're going to be in that type of offense. That's brutal when you lose your QB, and that's why even with Tennessee, I'm interested in them because they even had a longer heads up. But your entire offense is built around Nico Iamaleva's ability to throw the ball down the field, and he dips pretty late in UCLA. Now, what is that? How much time do they have to scramble for an offense that puts a ton of trust into that QB spot? BYU to me is like one of those teams. So I just feel like that's going to be tough. Like early on, they might finish the season well. I think early on as well, they'll take their licks. But to your point, dodging Arizona State, speaking of teams with returning talent coming back, Arizona State has just about everyone coming back. I think just 2 guys on offense they got to replace total.
They have the most returning starters in the Power 4.
Yeah. So there you go. Like and Sam Levitt being one of them is a big deal. Their quarterback was it almost beat Texas.
Yeah.
incredible player.
No, that was a crazy game.
That's right. I forget Texas fan. Yeah. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. You guys weren't getting past. Nobody was getting past Ohio State last year.
That was
We realized that. So we're at BYU 23. I voted kick them out. I think they will be out by early in the season. Same thing with Boise State at 25. We said Texas Tech feels about right at 24. And then we got some ties here. So tied at 21, you got two teams, Texas A&M and Iowa State.
So I'm putting Iowa State above Texas A&M. First of all, I'm happy that Texas A&M is not like top 15, top 10, because it's felt like every year Texas A&M goes 8-5, and then it's like, oh, they're talented, put them in the top 10, and then oh my gosh, they go 8-5 again. Who could have seen that one coming? Like every year. So I'm happy they're not up there, because it's literally the same story. Like they return a ton of production, all this stuff, but like I think the voters have, figured it out. Iowa State, I'm very cautiously optimistic of. I like Rocco Becht a lot, but Iowa State, they do have to remember, like last year really was a Cinderella season. Is it sustainable? Are they going to do the same thing? I would put Iowa State slightly above, but I think that 21-22 range is good for both of these teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down, like you said, if it's not a Cinderella year, obviously that's amazing, but it's going to come down to how consistent they can produce on the football field. I think looking at their schedule too, it's not like they have amazing. I mean, towards the end of the year, they kind of have a little tough schedule here, but I think if they can start off on the right foot, I think Iowa State's fairly ranked where they should be. A&M, I got some bias there anyways, but I think the same thing that you're saying is the same thing I'm always thinking is like, that's Texas 8-4 is what we call them on Twitter.
Yep.
And so it's like, I want them to be good, at least from like a college football fan standpoint, but you kind of get the same thing from them every year, it seems. And I feel like 21's a good spot to start them with. I think they have the talent to be better than that this year, but you also can't put them too high just based on how they've been as well.
Yeah.
I like it. Those two for me. Lock them.
Yeah.
I like that. I got no problems there. From Twitter here, we got Max chiming in talking about Arizona State. Said no. Cam Scottaboo, who carried them. Sure. I mean, he was fantastic. But I had to look it up. Sam Levitt, 2,885 yards, 24 touchdowns, only threw 6 picks. Like that's a damn good season from Sam Levitt. Yeah. Like I get it. Like we all like Cam Scottaboo. He was phenomenal. I'm super excited to see what he does in the NFL, but like we can't just Sam Levitt was a huge part of that team. And to say he wasn't, flat out lie. He was phenomenal. And that Texas game, though, if you're arguing about Texas, no, was not a great game or his best game from him. I don't think he even had any touchdowns in that game. I don't
think he did either.
Yeah. So if we're talking about that game, I'll give it to you, Max. If you're talking about the season, absolutely not. Moving on here with our list, though, 20, Kansas State.
A little high.
You think that's a little high?
A little bit. I mean, like it's not what I'm gonna like ring the alarm bells on, because like Kansas State is consistently a good team, but I feel like
5-4 in conference play last year.
Yeah, but I mean,
not great.
That's fair. But I want to pull up their schedule from last year. I mean, because that Houston loss was really, really bad. Like that was embarrassing. And then the BYU loss was bad, but obviously we see how good BYU was. But like they were 8 points shy of Iowa State. They were 5 points shy of Houston. Their other loss was Arizona State. Like
how much did they lose to Arizona State by?
10.
Okay, so pretty good game.
That's the thing is like outside of Houston, every single one of their losses had 11 wins. And I honestly, I feel like Kansas State is Texas A&M without the hype. Like they finish pretty similar every year. Like Kansas State's never going to be the worst team in college football, but they're never going to be competing for a national championship. I put them closer to like 23, but 20, it's not bad. Like I don't hate it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Kansas State is that. They are always a team you got to respect. We saw like immediately when Adrian Martinez went over there, they had some pretty immediate success. Really biggest strength for those guys pretty consistently is pretty good offensive line year in, year out. Good running backs. They're about right too. I mean, like so far, I usually agree with the coaches poll a lot more anyways. But yeah, I mean, Kansas State, they'll probably win 8 games. They'll probably go by just 500 in conference play. I'd have to dive into who their toughest conference opponents are. And that's where you get into tricky parts too with the Big 12 is you watch some games, it's like, oh my God, they lost by 34. This team's terrible. Sometimes that's just how those Big 12 games go.
Yeah.
You just see some ridiculous blowout and you'll watch that same team next week look like a shell of what you just saw the previous week. Rudy, you got any problems with Kansas State being all the way up there, 20?
Maybe not a problem, but I think like if you are basing it off of that year they had last year, it wasn't anything to like circle and be like, oh, that's going to be a special team to watch for. But I also don't hate it at the same time. It kind of gives them they're 5 spots away from being out of the top 25 here. So I mean, like you said, they're not too high, but I also don't. That's one that I gotta keep watching to see if they kind of earn that to be there. But
yeah, just
not
fun.
too much.
Just fun. Like you guys can hang out there and tell you, prove us that you don't belong, or prove us that like we underestimated you. But that's usually about where they kind of feel right. And if they fall out, it's usually towards the end there. I have no problems there with Kansas State.
Yeah.
Moving on. Finally, Big Ten team 19. Kurt Signetti's Indiana Hoosiers. I want to hear you guys on this because Indiana's a fun team to speculate on.
Yeah, I like everything that Kurt's doing over there. I think the way he coaches them is how I'd want to be coached for sure. I think it comes down, obviously he said it when he first got there that he wins, Google him, and he's not wrong. But I want to see more so, can he do it again? Like, I think 19, honestly, I feel like he might be a little lower. I think 19's too high for the season they just had. I wouldn't put him anything above 15, but I'd have him a little bit above some of the teams in front of him that we'll get into. But I don't hate it. I think they definitely have the base. If the worst that they're going to do is last year's season, then yeah, like if they can build on that, we'll see them higher moving forward. But I would like to see them a little higher, but I don't think it's the end of the world if they're not either. I think they still got some room to just prove that that's the team that they're going to be.
Yeah, I like the 19 spot. Because first of all, I think it was so funny last year, like the amount of people that were like, "Oh, Indiana's not a playoff team. They're not good. Why are they here?" When if you asked an Indiana fan before the season, what is the best thing that could possibly happen to this football team, they would say, "Oh yeah, we make a bowl game, and this will be the happiest I've ever been." Like they didn't care. Nobody cared.
They
were
deserve
like,
it. It didn't even. No, I'm just kidding.
like,
They deserve it.
But I will say, like, we're going to learn a lot about this team in their first 3 conference games because once they get through the murderer's row that is Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State, they have Illinois, at Iowa, at Oregon.
Mhm.
Like, those are games that I feel like Indiana, maybe not Oregon, but if things click, they could win those games. But I feel like they very easily could go 0-3 in that.
Well, let's do it right now. Let's pick those 3 games. Non-cons 3-0. Illinois on the road, you said?
Illinois in Bloomington. So it's at Indiana.
Yeah, I really like Illinois, but Kurt Signetti's so good. Indiana, they get the win.
Yeah, that's the type of game, like, I feel like I got to pick the home team. And I think that early in the season, I think having that easy schedule is nice because when you're breaking in new players, which they're breaking in a lot of new players, I think that's going to give them time to learn. So I'm going to give the nod to Indiana there.
I'm kind of going Illinois on that. I've been a huge fan of Illinois over the last couple seasons, the way they're building it over there. So I mean, I'll be the odd man out on that.
I
don't hate that though.
I say it all the time. Brett Bielema is like one of my favorite coaches. Like he knows how to coach ball.
Yeah.
And he's doing it with Illinois. You're seeing the effects of it. And Illinois is that's going to be a really good matchup. That's really
it's going to be a good game.
That's their first conference matchup. That is phenomenal.
That might be the first Big Ten matchup. Period.
Oh man, we're right there to college football. Circle that is everyone's circle. Those are the. I think we talk about this all the time, and we'll keep going with this list. But real quick side thought: top 4 playoff teams in the Big Ten, assuming 4 teams make it to the college football playoffs. I think right now it's Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. Throw them in any order you want, and then it's that 4th team. Is it Indiana? Is it Illinois? Is it Nebraska? Is it so on and so on? Indiana, Illinois. I think that's why the game's huge.
Yeah.
Like that could be the decider right out of the gates in the Big Ten. Who's going to be that 4th team that sneaks their way into the college football playoffs?
100%.
Yeah, I'm excited now. I can't wait to watch that game.
That's going to be fun.
Moving on with the list here, Rudy. We'll do this. You tell me when you would put Indiana above, or when you wouldn't put Indiana above. So, Indiana at 19, Tennessee at 18. Would you swap?
Yeah, I would. I think again, kind of just my gripe with BYU, they lost the quarterback. I obviously Nigo can't say his last name. I'm not going to try it on air either. But I think he was a really good quarterback. I think he still has some growing to do, and he's going to figure that out. I hope at UCLA. I'm a big fan of his. But I think now that's another gap they got to fill. And I don't think Tennessee has an easy SEC schedule by any means either. And so I would have them above there.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Now they're at 18, and Florida's at 17. Swap or stay?
I think with DJ Lagaway's kind of recent injury that's kind of emerging, I don't know how serious it is. I don't know if that's been reported on or anything, but I think that I would halt them there. I mean, if he's healthy, I don't know if I'd put them above Florida, but
okay, so about that 18.
maybe, yeah. Maybe just one spot up, sure.
All right. Any teams that, because I know you got the list in front of you, that you just see right now that you're like, no.
I'd have them above SMU.
Yes, me too. Okay,
Yeah,
that was the one I wanted to get to. I wanted to see if we'd get there before, but I actually agree with you on Florida. Jeffrey, what about you? Indiana, again, slotted there at 19 in the coaches poll. We did it. Would you sign above Tennessee?
Yeah, because even last year, like with Nico, their offense wasn't that good. Like, I'm just going to say it.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean,
he would look great, and then just other times to just be. I mean, he'd look like an inexperienced quarterback.
But to be so real with you, like, I mean, let's just real quick look at the games that he looked good in. I mean, and that Tennessee offense looked good in. You know, you look at their super easy part of the schedule, the UConns, the Chattanoogas, the Kent States. You know, even NC State, like they looked good, but okay, Oklahoma, 25 points, Arkansas, 14 points, Florida, like the most that they scored in a conference game was 36. But then, you know, UTEP, 56, NC State 51, Kent State 71. Like they stat padded against non-conference opponents. Oh, yeah. Like, but then even even in their best wins, like Alabama, it was the defense. And that's the thing is, like the Tennessee defense last year did not get enough credit for what they did.
It's a good point.
Like at all. And in the SEC, like how do I word this? You need to have an offense that pairs with your defense. Like, yes, the defense is important, but you have such firepower on offense. Like you break one play and it's over. I mean, and I think the defense for Tennessee will be solid, but I don't trust that offense at all this year. So I would put Indiana above them. Florida, I'd probably put Indiana above them just because Florida is a lot like Texas Tech to me.
Even if the quarterback's healthy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because especially with preseason, it's what you've proven. I think the ceiling is higher for Florida, but I think the floor is also substantially lower. And Florida, it's honestly 2024 Florida reminds me a lot of 2018 Nebraska in the way that they looked spectacular at the end of the season. But you take the whole season and look at it together, this team was 8-5. And it's like, okay, like how much is that going to carry over? Like what, like, was it just lightning in a bottle for 4 games? Like, what are we going to see? SMU is really close. I'm going to give SMU the slight nod purely because of the conference they're in. I think the ACC is the worst power conference this year. Full stop. And I think that SMU will be able to get more wins this year in the ACC than Indiana can get in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and especially if their seating's already favorable.
Yeah,
for SMU. I mean, they're sitting comfortable. If they're already sitting up there in the preseason and they just take care of business. I think I would agree with you.
Yeah,
in the ACC. I mean, you're really only looking at a few teams. You're really looking at one team. You're looking at Clemson, and then maybe you get a dark horse in there. But I don't think anyone's gonna be too surprised over that. We'll do one more, and then we got to throw it to break here. So we went through it. We're not going to talk about every single one of these because we basically just did Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, 16, SMU at number 15, Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, no Jackson Dart. Another one of those teams that feels just about right because they always look good. They always have these moments. You're playing in the SEC, so you're going to get some absolute gauntlets of games so that you're just going to take some losses that are going to put you in the middle. But in terms of talent wise, like that feels about 15 feels like Ole Miss the past 5 years. Like they're always just that 15th best team in the entire country. Your thoughts?
I mean, do you want to go ahead?
No,
or?
you got it.
I think it's perfect. First of all, complete sidebar. Was I the only one that didn't know that Lane Kiffin was born in Lincoln?
Lane Kiffin was born in Lincoln?
Yeah, Lane Kiffin was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I had no idea. I should know that.
I had no idea about that. That's okay. Random piece of trivia for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I think like Ole Miss has become in his tenure like the most consistent, like 15th ranked team in the country. Like his first year was COVID year, so that's it's kind of a wash. But his records 10-3, 8-5, 11-2, 10-3, like pretty consistent across the board. And so I think 15 is perfect. Like I think they're going to go probably about 10-3, 11-2 again, honestly. Like, so I think that's pretty perfect.
All right. All in agreement there.
Yep.
Well, Rudy, I guess we didn't get your thoughts.
I agree. I'm just interested to see how they do. Same thing as that all the other teams I've really spoken on, how they roll in a new quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. Austin Simmons is who they're going to have back there.
guys like Lane Kiffin as a great?
I would love to play for Lane Kiffin if I was a D1 football player. I think
he seems.
Yeah. I think the Twitter stuff might be a little too much sometimes, but
sometimes Twitter stuff.
Yeah, but I would. I'm sure he believes in those guys as much as they believe in him too.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, and that's the thing is like Ole Miss historically is not that great of a program. I mean, they had some pre-World War II natties, but like he's the only coach that has coached Ole Miss to a 10-win regular season. Like there's an argument. I honestly think even in the 5 years he's been there, there's an argument to be made that he is already the greatest Ole Miss coach of all time.
I can't age myself enough to look that far back if there was a better time.
And that's the thing is if there is a better coach, you're looking at 1930 some.
Yeah.
Like I like Lane Kiffin. He's a character. That much is true. And I am sad every day that Mike Leach passed so early that we did not get a longer stretch of Egg Bowl between Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
God, that would have been electric every year. But
that makes sense too. That coaching tree.
Yeah.
When you only see the kind of guy Kiffin is, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Things are adding up here.
So I like Kiffin. Again, the Twitter stuff is a lot, but yeah.
It's I don't know. It's for the Twitter stuff. Like it's a lot. It just depends on who you are. Like for me, it's pretty amusing at times. It's like, if it was my coach, it wouldn't bother me, but it's like, if I'm a mom of of like the player, that's where I'm always like, Lane, it's not me you got to worry about offending here. It's like the moms of the kids you're trying to recruit that like, maybe chill.
More of an image.
Yeah,
reflection.
on the Twitter stuff. But no, I think he's a phenomenal head coach, and I think Ole Miss is absolutely lucky to have them. I like him at 15. If they slid up there, I'd be all for it. Ole Miss is one of the few SEC teams I don't mind rooting for from time to time. Real quick to Max, he was talking all the way back at the very beginning, talking between who was really leading that Arizona State team. He was talking just between that matchup game between Texas and Arizona State, where Sam Leavitt, he didn't play great in that one. And I did look it up. He had 0 touchdowns in that game. Really can't.
Scotabo had more passing touchdowns than him that game.
Yeah.
Scotabo, oh my God. The fact that you win MVP of the game while still losing, like that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Like,
yeah, I wonder how many times that's happened. If we could just a phenomenal.
I think Cotton Bowl, like that was the first and only time it's ever happened.
Probably in the Cotton Bowl for sure. But just in terms of like the odds of like winning any sort of MVP in any bowl game after taking an L, is like you have to be doing some insane damage for them to like still hand it off to you. So credit to this Cam Scadboo, who surprisingly, you guys ever watch the videos? It's Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast. Do you know ball? Cam does not know ball whatsoever.
Yeah, I will say there is a surprising number of players that just don't watch football.
Yeah, because they're playing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I think that's the thing is like, you got to think about it like in any other career, like that makes sense. Like if you're a realtor, are you going to spend your Sunday afternoons going to open houses and stuff? Like no, because that's so much of your life. Like and so I think it makes sense, like the amount of NFL players that don't want to watch football. I know Najee Harris was a big one with that. So yeah.
Well, with that being said, we got to throw out the break here. Been a long first segment. We spent about 34 minutes on it, but we're streaming only, so no worries. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep things rolling right here. 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Harrison Arens. That's Jeffrey. That's Rudy. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison runs on the ones and twos. Got Jeffrey, Rudy to my left for this hour of Ticket Weeknights. You guys are always welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. You can comment on the streams as well, like you have been through Facebook, YouTube, X. Can't comment through Allo, but you can watch on Allo Cable, channel 961. We still got the Royals playing top of the 8th inning, and they got a couple runs. So there is some hope, but they're still down by 5. 3-8, top of the 8th inning. And again, the Royals just put in another run. So they still got a chance, but a long one at that. All right, with that being said, let's keep moving on here. We did get the AP preseason coaches poll. So that's what we've been talking about. We made it all the way down to 15. And just to give everyone a reminder, how it went so far in order from 25 all the way down to 15. Boise State, Texas Tech, BYU tied at 21. Texas A&M and Iowa State, Kansas State, Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, SMU, and then Ole Miss at 15. At number 14, the Michigan Wolverines. This is another fun one. Next Big Ten team we talked about. I mean, you're how good is Underwood? Do we know officially what game Sharon Moore is going to be sitting out for? I know he wanted to volunteer. I thought that was official, but apparently it's not necessarily official. If you guys don't know that, not the biggest deal. More importantly,
I think it's Michigan the first football. 3 games and maybe the Nebraska game.
Yeah, he's for sure missing the Nebraska game.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I think they play Oklahoma before that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coaching that game easily.
His alma mater.
Yeah, I was going to say he went there, but
it shouldn't matter. Like
exactly.
The whole point of punishments are
you're not supposed to like it. You're not supposed to pick and choose with it. Like you just get it dealt and that's it. But yeah,
that should be the game. Most importantly, he's not available for it.
Yeah. So he's only missing 2 games. It says here, I believe, and it's going to be week 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and then Nebraska. So,
that's such a joke of a punishment. They should change that immediately and just put their foot down. No volunteering what games you're going to set out on the sideline for. It's a punishment. Like I rant on that, but this Michigan scandal drives me insane. How much the NCAA's drag their feet on it. And you know what the NCAA does? Hey, Central Michigan, we're going to talk to you about this Connor Stallions guy has because we haven't talked to him 100 times already.
Right?
Michigan, your thoughts?
I like him at 14. I mean, here's the thing. I know I talk about teams ending the year well and that kind of stuff, but last year was different for, Michigan. Like it's not like Florida where it's like, oh, they looked good against some pretty good teams. No, they beat the national champion.
Mm-hmm.
They were the only team besides Oregon to beat the national champion. And, Ohio State obviously avenged that loss. And then they beat Alabama. And Michigan didn't have a quarterback last year. Like this isn't even hyperbolic. They had like 4 different people start. They didn't have a quarterback last year, and they still managed to go 8-5, beat Bama, and beat the national champion. That's impressive. And, this was a team that was super depleted last year. I like it a lot here. And you look at the schedule, they dodge Oregon, Indiana, and Penn State. None of those are on the schedule.
I don't like Michigan. I would put them there perfectly. I think it's a top 10 team as the season goes on. Michigan's good. I really do think they're going to be a really good team. I could be wrong about Moore at that head coach, and maybe he's not the right guy for it. But to your point, like that offense was atrocious. And for them to find a way to win as many games as they did, relying on the defense, relying on game management, those 2 things have not changed. Defense and clock management have stayed true with them. And if they just fix that offense a little bit, we're talking about a 9-10 win team last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they were going to beat Ohio State regardless. If they got just a little bit better on offense, they're going to need, I think, to get, they did beat Ohio State. Yeah. I don't know. Michigan is right there on the front door. I think they really tweak that offense a little bit. I mean, that's a national championship contender. I'm good with them at 14. Slide them up as the season goes on, most likely for me. I don't know. Is that too high on Michigan?
No.
Okay.
I'm cool with it. Yeah, I would probably. They're in that range for sure.
Yeah.
I'd probably put like Ole Miss ahead of them just with they're having a junior quarterback this year versus Bryce Underwood coming straight out of high school.
I can see that.
But obviously, I mean, if he's good enough to play, then they should have no worries. So I'm cool with it. It's kind of like another. How high does the ceiling go for them? And I think it goes pretty high with him. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and it's not like Dylan Raiola, a true freshman playing for Nebraska, where it's like, hey, Dylan, we've sucked forever. Come fix it.
Yeah.
We have a program here. Exactly. Plug in, do what you can
you
do.
Be good at what you do. Yep.
Because even JJ McCarthy, they weren't asking JJ McCarthy to do a ton of stuff, and he's, in the NFL. We'll see how good of an NFL quarterback he can be. He's healthy, but he just wasn't doing a lot because they weren't asking him to. Because they didn't need him to. It was okay being a game manager because you're winning games. That's what you should be doing. Moving on here, 13 Gamecocks, South Carolina. Beamer last year had one of the most unlucky seasons. The South Carolina season last year was I hate calling things unlucky. It felt a little bit esque of when Nebraska went 3 and it was like the best 3-win team ever. Just so many bad breaks at the end of games, and the Cheez-It Bowl wasn't a bad break, but it was pretty tough, slow scoring, and then Brett Bielema in Illinois They take that one home. Very bumpy season for South Carolina, but they were good. I mean, they were challenging everybody. Might be a little too high, but you do got Sellers coming back. So that's a big deal. Where are you guys out? South Carolina, 13.
I think kind of I agree with you. Like maybe some people might have them too high, but I think with Lenore Sellers coming back, I think that is perfect for him. I think that is a huge piece of obviously why they had some success last year, and I think they're going to build around it. He's only going to get better. And I mean, even though it is the SEC, they start off with Vanderbilt. Sorry, they have Missouri. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about them yet.
Hey, don't doubt Diego Pavia either.
No, absolutely not.
Bandy.
I just don't know how much that's going to really impact. And then, I mean, like I like where they're at. I think they're a team that they could do enough to become at least on the brink of being a playoff team. I don't know if this is the year they do it, but I think they have a lot of wins in this schedule.
Well, they got a big statement with Vanderbilt. I mean, seriously, it seems like a weird one, but Vanderbilt, and I said Diego Pavia, kind of they're
becoming respectable now.
Well, because Diego Pavia's been very loud about it now, and he's good. He's loud. It maybe annoys people, including myself. I've ranted about his comments about the Big Ten, mainly because Vanderbilt's only beaten a Big Ten team once, and it was like I think you have to go to the 60s, and it was 3-0 versus Northwestern. So whatever. But Diego Pavia in particular, he is a good quarterback. Putting a little bit of target on Vanderbilt's back at the same time. I think this is like, if you are South Carolina, like that's probably a statement game. Like you want to go on there and make sure Vanderbilt knows its place. I mean that, obviously the nicest way possible, but you're Vanderbilt, right? Like you guys are the losers. You have been.
Yeah.
If you are South Carolina, you have to go in there and take care of business. It's a pretty good first challenge though. It's not the same challenge that Vanderbilt used to be. So if they can pull that one off, I think that bodes pretty well. Jeffrey, your thoughts on the Gamecocks?
I like them a lot here. I mean, reminder, like this team, they win their one-score games last year. They have one loss. And, even with all of the unluckiness, they go 9-4. They beat playoff Clemson. They keep Missouri out of the playoffs. They break Texas A&M. Like, and they do have some, like, listen, they got some tough games. Scheduling Virginia Tech for your opening game, neutral site, that ain't easy. At Missouri is going to be tough. I understand not a lot of people are high on Missouri, but listen, the numbers are they're 22-5 in the last 2 years, and their only home loss is to Jaden Daniels. Like that's not an easy place to play. But I think especially the game I'm really, really circling, honestly, is at LSU because LSU, that was their most unfair loss last season.
Yeah.
Full stop. They have a bye week before they go into Baton Rouge, and that Sellers and Beamer are just like licking their chops, thinking of let's go get revenge in Death Valley. Like that's going to be fun. And then Bama, who they almost beat in Bryant-Denny, they got at home this year. This is a schedule. It's tough, but it lines up for them to make some serious statements.
I like it. I think we're actually all in agreement there with South Carolina. Very good team. Be dangerous for sure. Well, we'll scrub through these next ones real quick so we can get to the top 10. 12, Illinois. We've talked a lot of Illinois here. And then 11, Arizona State. We talked a lot about those guys as well, the amount of returning talent they have coming back. At number 10, Miami. Thoughts?
Too high.
Too high.
Way too high. I mean, this team had the best quarterback in the country last year. They had all the talent. They had an incredible receiver in Xavier Restrepo. And they lose the Cheez-It Bowl. Like, and this team, like they literally
were they in the Cheez Bowl? I thought that was Illinois,
Pop-Tart, maybe?
South Carolina.
I'm sorry, the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, there
Pop-Tart
one
Bowl.
of them. One of
the other food-based meme bowl.
Yeah.
Illinois, South Carolina. That was the Cheez Bowl.
Yeah,
I remember
right.
Sean Beamer and Brett getting into it.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
But it just feels like Miami every year. It's, hey, you guys are in the playoffs. All you got to do is don't mess up. And then last year they're like, okay, so what if we blew a massive lead to Syracuse? And the year before it's like, okay, what if we didn't take a knee against Georgia Tech?
Yeah, Cristobal's had some bad moments.
And it's just like every year it feels like, it's like, and then, they got bailed. I'm going to say it, they got bailed out against Virginia Tech. They had to rely on Cal to choke massively to win that game. And then next year, their non-conference schedule includes Notre Dame and Florida.
Kick them out.
Like
top 10. I'm with you guys.
I'm going to be so candid. I'm not even sure they deserve to be in the top 25. Like they lose Restrepo. They lose Cam Ward. Their schedule includes Notre Dame, Florida, at Florida State, which I understand Florida State is Florida State, but it's on the road in a rivalry game. Louisville, at SMU, Syracuse, at Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh. Like, this is not an easy schedule. This team could end up going 7-6.
I like it.
I think the only thing they got going for him is Carson Beck, but even he's coming off an injury right now. And I think I read a report last week. Like, I think they've started fall camp already, and that's the first time that this dude's gotten a chance to throw to his receivers because of the injury, which is fair. But it's one of those things where it's like you have a new quarterback too. Yes, he should be a top quarterback in the league like he has been. I think he had a down year last year again. But I think, I just can't. Like, that system was built perfectly last year for the team that they had. Yes, they got lucky for sure in some of those games. But, like, those connections they had, Cam Ward to Restrepo was one that you just feel like you couldn't stop a lot of the times. And I feel like they're going to struggle to have that again.
Miami has 3 returning starters on offense, and they're all offensive linemen. They have to refresh their entire skill position core. And also, I don't think Carson Beck's that good. Like, honestly.
All right. Fair enough. We all know how we feel about Miami. That's for certain. We're going to go. We don't got some time here left. So what we'll do, we'll rapid fire these. We'll get some more interesting ones. LSU at 9. Yay, day.
I like it.
Okay.
I think
like that.
Alabama, 8.
I think I like it.
And Oregon, the undefeated team, 0 first place votes. I know they're not undefeated. Undefeated regular season and Big Ten champions. Oregon, they lost to in the playoffs to the champions, Ohio State. 7 feel right, and are you surprised to see them get 0 first place
I think
votes?
it's too low, honestly.
I'd put them up higher. Again, I'm just like, I know it's Oregon. Whatever you may think of Oregon, I'm not a big fan of like how much everyone loves Autzen Stadium, of how loud it is. I get it. It's the way the stadium's designed. 54,000 people. It's not like a top 10 toughest places to play, but I digress. Oregon at 7 actually does feel a little bit too low for me. I'd put him. The rest of the list is 6 Clemson, 5 Notre Dame, 4 Georgia, 3 Penn State, 2 Ohio State, 1 Texas. I would slide Oregon. I'd probably put him at 5. I'd slide him above Notre Dame.
I would too.
And I'd probably even swap number 4 Clemson out and number 4 Georgia and put Clemson there.
I'm wary to put Clemson. Listen, I am a full Clemson supporter this year. I am fully on the hype train of Clemson, but with preseason polls, I get a little wary of putting teams too high that are, I guess, unproven or just coming in with hype. Like they were 10-4. If they weren't in the ACC, they don't make the playoffs last year. I love what I think is going to happen with them, but also a team that gets bounced in the first round. I'm also like, do we really have to put them this high? I think 6 is good for them. Maybe I'd flip Penn State and Georgia, but I also understand Penn State had a significantly better postseason and they returned their quarterback. So I don't hate that. I think the top 6 is pretty good.
Okay. Texas at number 1.
I love
28
it.
votes. I know you like it. Do you disagree, Jeffrey?
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument to be made, despite what the score says, that they played Ohio State harder than anybody in the playoffs, including Notre Dame. I mean, because Texas, if that one Jack Sawyer scoop and score doesn't happen, that's a 7-point game. I mean, that was one play away from, like, I think Ohio State wins that game, but that game was much closer than the score indicated. And the national championship, like, yeah, Notre Dame kept it close, but Ohio State controlled that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew pretty much from, the end of the first quarter, Ohio State's winning that game. That Texas-Ohio State game, I didn't, honestly, until that Jack Sawyer scoop and score, I didn't know who was winning that game. And Texas returns, arguably, I don't agree with this argument, but arguably the best quarterback in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarkisian has done a great job there. And Ohio State, yes, they have Jeremiah Smith, but they lose some big key players. So I like Texas above Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree, but I think, like you said, like that, I think it was more than just the scoop and score alone. Like, they got down to the 2-yard line and were pitching the ball, and like I don't think, again, I'm not going to say, we win that game if we score, but it's definitely a different game if we go in the red zone and play a little differently. But obviously we lost. Ohio State, I think you want to put the national champions first, but like you said, I think they're losing both running backs that were both super productive for them last year. Have to get a new quarterback in there. Like, and they're Ohio State. They're going to have, I'm sure, 4 or 5 stars ready to go right away. But at the same time, like, Texas does have that chemistry. Arch Manning, I think he should be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Obviously, I'm not going to say he is yet, but the way that they're building that, they have a lot of returners. The line's looking good. Like, I'm excited for him too. I think they're one of the more complete teams in college football. Like you were saying in the SEC, you got to fire on both sides. I think Texas does that. So I'm going to say that's fine, but I can see perfectly why they are there.
But I mean, the nice thing is, like, we're going to find out week 1. Like,
Oh,
these
yeah.
two teams face off. So, like, we're going to
At
have our
11
answer
o'clock.
very quickly. Yeah. What? Still mad about that. But we're going to find out very quickly who is the number 1 team in the country.
And it won't be Texas, Rudy.
That's
It'll be Ohio State.
We'll stop that.
I think
real quick, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think the thing too is, like, yes, Ohio State was the national champion, but this is only the second 2-loss national champion we've seen since, I think, 1963.
Yeah.
Like, if this is literally any other year besides the 12-team playoff year, Ohio State isn't even in the conversation.
I think if I take off my Husker colors, like Texas, I mean, if you should be scared of Arch Manning.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a problem. Like I'm very hard pressed to think this guy's not going to be able to play at a high level, possibly even flirt around with the Heisman if he's everything he's said to be. And you got to see bits and pieces, and it never looks bad.
Yeah,
and that's always pretty concerning when you're looking at a true freshman. It's like, oh, it just never looks bad for you. So not obviously I don't like Texas, but if I had to pick, like, yes, Texas number 1, then I'd go Ohio State, and then we can have an argument about how we shift out. 3 through 5, but I think we're all pretty much agreeing. Final thing I got for you guys. I was thinking about this earlier, and I didn't know a good time to sneak it in, so I'll ask it at the very end here. I saw a question Big Ten account put out today. You get to kick one team out of the Big Ten. Who are you going to kick out?
From, like, a personal vendetta, or like...
It can be whatever you want.
Okay, so personal vendetta, Ohio State. I don't like them. Like, at all. At all. Rudy and I were talking about it off air. They're my least favorite team in the country.
Tristan said that too. Why do you guys all hate Ohio State so much?
For me, and I'll keep this brief, just their history of scandals, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Fair
and
enough.
then you couple in the fact, like, a huge chunk of my family's from Michigan, so I would consider myself a Michigan fan to some extent.
Oh, yeah.
So you couple that in, Ohio State. From an actual, like, feasibility standpoint, at Rutgers, honestly.
That was the one I was going to say. Like, you guys are so weird on the map when you look at the Big Ten now.
It's also like...
Or Maryland.
Maryland, but the thing is, like...
I'd pick Rutgers before Maryland, but those are the two I thought of.
I think the thing is, too, you look at, like, every sport, like, I don't think Rutgers really doesn't bring anything. Like, Maryland, like, they at least got basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're good, both men's and women's. Every year, like, they got a good basketball team. But, like, you look across every sport, like, what does Rutgers bring? Honestly.
Yeah. For just pure boredom factor, I'd probably go Northwestern, honestly. I think the only game I've watched of Northwestern on my own was when Nebraska played them overseas. And other than that, I'm just not big with Northwestern. I just, like, if they were to leave the Big Ten, it would not change me watching any Big Ten games, honestly.
I'm kind of a sicko for Northwestern
I'm
games.
just not.
I enjoy watching Northwestern. It was last year. It was early. I don't know why the hell I was watching it. It was watching Northwestern on their makeshift field where there's no wind cover in the freezing cold. You got the lakes blowing on you, and they're playing, I'm pretty sure it was Kansas. Just the worst game I've ever watched. It just looked like went into double overtime. Nobody wanted to win, playing on a horrible field.
It was Duke. I remember that game.
It was Duke.
Yes, it was Duke. That was a terrible football game. I watched that game.
It was, but I'm kind of a sicko for that Northwestern ball. Like, I'm like, this is terrible, but, like, I got to see who pulls out this horrendous football game. That wasn't, it was so bad that I had to go on for 2 extra overtimes.
I will say,
figured it out.
I'm fully planning on going to a Northwestern game this year because I want to see a game played on Lake Michigan. Just the thought of that sounds so cool.
It's just, I love the idea of, like, we have to have a makeshift field. Where should we put it? Right on the face of the lake with no wind coverage, because everybody knows the weather in Northwestern's beautiful.
Chicago's not known for wind or anything.
No. That's going to wrap it up for us. That's the preseason coaches poll, top 25. You guys can disagree, agree. It's all preseason. Hindsight's 2020. We'll all know at the end of the 25-26 season. So appreciate you guys listening. That's going to wrap it up for us. We'll have some best of the ticket coming your guys' way next. Appreciate you listening. Talk to you tomorrow night.